Mutant contagion. As anticipated and previously discussed here in the mutations episode, we now have had 4 notable mutations, 2 differing strains from the start, the one that affected Europe and East Coast US and the other everywhere else. Since then, we have had the next 2, one that affected all the now euthanized mink, the other and newest currently affecting England. Again, these are the mutations that have been most publicized, besides the 12,000 or so documented strains. So now it begs the question, will their precious vaccine live up to its expectations? Or will all of its pin-pricked victims be subjected to multiple injections? Another solid reason these approvals and distributions are way ahead of themselves. Vetting these things is not a 6-month process. More like a recipe for failure, one way or another. There will be consequences. Apparently, their risk-benefit morality is a far cry from mine. The risk to the sheeple is high. The risk to pharma and government is low. We'll get an impairment, they'll get a fine, and maybe a congressional scolding. So now we have to let our thoughts wander to what animal is next for the new strains. How long until this new UK strain floats across the pond and beyond? There's clearly no buffers in place. We can still fly, send packages, import and export. We can all still gather in large stores, still have someone deliver our food. We're all still allowed into poorly ventilated businesses. All the packages we send and receive have been touched and breathed on by multiple people. And yet there is concern over outdoor gatherings and small family gatherings. You and your significant other can't throw down a blanket on the beach without being told to move on. They, our fearless leaders, are either completely ignorant and incompetent, or they are allowing it to continue by design. You decide which scenario makes the most sense. If the world leaders were serious about stopping the spread, there would be 0 travel allowed, 0 imports and exports of goods of any kind, 0 handling of anything by multiple humans, 0 entering of any structure that isn't decontaminated regularly and fully ventilated for maximum fresh air. Then every business across the board would have been on a level field of financial strain. Essentially, everything would have to stop, or nothing will stop this ever mutating, ever spreading contagion. The choice was made to mishandle this from the beginnings, then to weed out mass sectors of business, mostly medium and small. Tear down world economies, deficit spend them all into bankruptcy. Get their people hooked on government handouts, get them hooked on being at home. Out of the rat race. Into isolation and destitution. Obviously the goal hasn't been achieved yet, so we'll keep on getting strain after strain, vaccine on top of vaccine. Poor getting poorer, rich getting richer. Businesses bankrupted, corporations soaring to new heights, along with the bloated carcass of an overvalued stock market. The end game is real. The end game is total control, global economic domination, socialization of all aspects of existence. Or you can believe that it's all just been the fault of the sheeple not behaving their wolf-like shepherds, and all the circumstances are just playing out in a typical way. That our leaders have it all in their control, and it will all be over soon. We can all return to normal jobs, normal day to day. And that it's all just around the next corner. Believe what you want. I'm betting that it's all going according to plan. And that their final solution is what's just around the next corner of the Great Reset agenda. If they tell me to look east, I'm for sure going to be looking in the other 3 directions and up and down. I'm preparing mind, body, and soul. getting the things and doing the things, to be as independent for as long as possible. Pray, love, live.